But to kind of get into these questions is actually going to be cool for this first one with you being in the Bay Area, being surrounded by tech and everything. For you, what is it? Apple or Spotify? What do you prefer?
Man, I'm a title, bro. I'm title, bro.
just push those two to the side. We go Untitled. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Black Student Success Podcast, where we bring you insight and guidance from successful Black professionals. My name is Selvin. Of course, we appreciate the support. So today we have Anwar Douglas on the show. He is a serial entrepreneur who is managing multiple businesses, and successfully at that. And he has a background in engineering. So we're going to kind of get into what his career path looked like and how he made that transition and what types of things he's done to kind of continue that success. So let's welcome Anwar to the show. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for taking the time to be on here. So let's start the show the same way we always do, by giving you an opportunity to introduce yourself to the audience by answering, who is Anwar Douglas?
Cool. And some people call me Anwar, some people call me Anwar. But ultimately, my name is Anwar Douglas. And who is Anwar Douglas? I would say, as you mentioned, entrepreneur, investor, philanthropist. Definitely want to give back to the community. I think that the biggest thing that I'm most passionate about is just leaving an impact in anything that I'm involved in, and being very meaningful in the different things that I'm involved with. So I think that's in a nutshell, that's who I am.
All right, dope. All right, so let's actually start from the beginning. What was your childhood like? Kind of building up to the point where you actually went to school.
Cool. So I was originally born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. I actually grew up in the inner city of St. Louis. Inner city is just another way for saying you grew up in the hood. And, I actually grew up with my mom and my dad. So it was actually it's kind of uncommon to actually have both parents in the household. I was blessed to have both my mother and my father in the house. And I was actually an oops baby. So I actually got two older brothers. One just turned 50 in January and the other turned 48. And I'm 32. So I was like that oops baby. Like my parents were expecting to have me. But it was actually cool because my parents were more established when they had my brothers. They were a little bit younger. Yeah. Didn't really have much money. Even when I was born, they didn't have much money. It was still one job. My dad used to always do different hustles and different gigs. But my mom had that one job. She worked as a house cleaner, and then worked in a hospital. So it was like lower class growing up. And actually, going to school, it was crazy. So I was in the hood, but my mom, she worked in the suburbs in the county, and she actually got me into a suburb school. It was a part of the St. Louis. It was called like a desegregation program. So they pretty much bused kids out of the hood and brought them out to the county. So that was definitely a blessing because it exposed me. It was actually the first time I ever seen white people, and the first time. And it just exposed me to a different world. It was like I was living night and day when I was going to school in grade school, man. And then as a child, man, just always hustling. My dad would always have me working, always have me outside cutting grass, just always doing different things to just earn money for myself, and just take care of myself. So that's my childhood, essentially.
Yeah, so you had exposure to a few different things. So one, simply put, white people. You got into the system of that school desegregation type of thing. And I'm sure that had an impact, being able to kind of be exposed to a different group of people, especially after a certain amount of time when you probably have had already established some type of mindset as far as, the environments that you're in and everything. And then also, the hustle that your dad had, seeing him do all these different types of things. And I'm sure those, bits and pieces kind of had an impact on you kind of growing up and eventually to what you're doing now.
Absolutely. And then just I had three like solid male like foundational like role models for me. It was my dad. He was all about like just working and making sure you like be able to be self-sufficient and provide for yourself. And then I had my uncle. My uncle was like in the streets, so he kind of like taught me how to be street smart. Like when I'm hanging around in the neighborhood, and I really looked up to my uncle. And then also my older brother, like my second oldest brother, he was just always about business. He was in the military. He went to the Navy. Both of my brothers actually went to the military, and he actually had a son that was my nephew. And my nephew is 2 months older than me. And he just always like instilled in us like the military practices, bro. He was mad strict. So
Yeah.
I had like those three men that like really like poured into me as a child though, to help shape who I am today too though.
Yes, and that a nice little unique mix there too of having, the three kind of three different personalities, three different mindsets to influence you at this point. So that's pretty dope. Now let's take it to when you had, gotten into school. It looks like you went to study industrial engineering. So what was that like, and what kind of inspired you to get into that?
Yeah, man. So when I actually went to college, and I actually started college in Southeast Missouri State. It's it's in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. It's like 2 hours south of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And, my first major going into college, I knew I just wanted to be around like technology and computers. And my major was actually computer science, like first semester of college. And I was enrolled in a C plus class, like a coding class. And man, that was by far one of the hardest classes I ever took in my life to that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I can't do this the rest of college, bro. First, it was just very complicated. I ended up getting a C minus out of the class, but I was like, man, I can't do this the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Or just for a career. And I immediately changed it. I knew I just wanted to be in technology. I really didn't want to be in business. I always had a business mindset, but I didn't want to like major in business. I wanted to major in like a technology. And then I learned about industrial engineering. And it was perfect because it was like the way it was described to me by my counselor was it was a mixture of both business acumen, but you also get that technical background knowledge as well. You can be able to pretty much speak to different audience, right? You can speak to the business audience and you can speak to the technical audience. And I thought that was just a perfect fit for me. So I studied in that. I actually transferred to the University of Memphis my third year of being in college, and that's why I actually graduated from the University of Memphis. 13.
Okay. And what piece in terms of like the technology? I know that you said that you wanted to really be around that. Was there anything in your childhood that kind of pushed you to that? On top of naturally kind of getting all of this business acumen, or at least it's the mindset from from the people that were in your lives up until college.
Yeah. So going to the school in the suburbs, like for middle school and high school, we were always exposed to like STEM. Like I was always exposed to STEM. And it just came easy. Math came easy to me. And just, I was fascinated by like computers and like technologies. Cause like growing up, like computers were brand new. Like it was the greens. I mean, the black screen with the green boxes beeping. Like it was super old school, and it was just evolving over time. And as it was evolving over time, at the school, we was constantly getting upgrades. All we had was Mac and the big Macintosh computers.
Yeah, with the colored back and everything.
Yeah, colored back. Yeah. That's all we had in school. So that's all I was around, and it just came natural to me. So it was like I didn't want to really be in like math or be a math teacher or anything like that. But it was like, well, let me figure out this technology. And I always knew it was going to be the future. Right. So I was like, I want to learn something that's going to be the future. So that's what really like sparked that interest for me, bro.
Okay, nice. And then just a little bit for the audience, just so that they can kind of put those pieces together. Can you describe, kind of what industrial engineering is and maybe just a few examples of what you can do with that?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, industrial engineering is essentially like process engineering. So you have, when you look at the different phases of engineering, you have an engineer that can design hardware, maybe design like a computer, the actual parts inside the computer, like the computer chips, the PCP board, all those different things, or a mechanical engineer can design like a design for like bridges. They could design like a design for any type of object. They actually design that object. That's a mechanical engineer. And then obviously like a software engineer, they're behind the coding and doing all the different coding or the programming that goes onto the actual platform. And then industrial engineer helps process the manufacture of that hardware. So if we take a computer, right? If we take a computer, you got the mechanical engineer designing the parts of it, and then an industrial engineer would then create a process to make a massive manufacturing process to produce thousands of units for that particular computer and make it cost efficient for the business. Make sure that it has quality for the business, like it deliver quality for each product, and then we're doing it on time delivery. So it's taking all that technical aspect and incorporating all the design, making a simplified process for the business in order for it to make money and be delivered on time with high quality. That's an industrial engineering in a nutshell.
Okay, yeah, and so now I can see how you were able to talk to both of those different groups. You know, the actual engineers putting those things together, and then the business people behind maybe the company where they have a certain set of needs. You understand those needs, and then you understand how that engineering part actually works together. So you're really the bridge between those two.
Exactly.
There you go. There you go. Okay, perfect. So now it looks like you had about 6 years in, like directly in the field, and that's when you started to kind of make that transition into being an entrepreneur, kind of working for yourself, managing your own businesses. Talk to us about what that transition looked like for you.
Absolutely, man. So, yeah, as you mentioned, bro, was about 6 or 7 years or so working in just the engineering space. And at a very elite level, man, I was able to. I actually got accepted into an engineering leadership development program with a biotech company in San Diego, and it was a 2-year program. And every 6 months, I rotated throughout different functions within the operation. I had visibility of the entire operation, and it just helped propel my career. And I was constantly just getting promoted at a very elite level because I participated in that leadership development program early on in my career. And I was completely sold, man, into like really climbing that corporate ladder and just excelling at an elite level. I was a part of National Society of Black Engineers. That's what initially actually got me accepted into that leadership development program. And then I made my way all the way out here to Silicon Valley. And I was engineering management. I was leading teams of engineers. And really, like, from a career standpoint, like outside looking in, it's like, man, this dude is really like living the American dream.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, man, I made it all the way to Silicon Valley, and I'm in STEM, I major STEM. And it just, for me personally, I wasn't fulfilled, man. It was like, I really valued time freedom, and I was completely time broke. Like I literally, like I was missing key events with my friends. Like people were graduating from getting their masters, and I was missing like certain events because I'm originally from St. Louis, and trying to travel back to go see those events. I was missing it because I was always working. And then because I was young and not married, my company was sending me all over the country wherever we had different issues going on. And it was like, man, I moved to California because I want to live in California. I don't want to go just into the middle of Ohio where it ain't nothing there.
Yeah.
And it, like, after a while, man, I got burnt out in working that corporate America lifestyle and trying to constantly climb the ladder. As well as, man, like I was literally like one of the only persons that really looked like me, had the same skin color as me. So you're paying a different politics. It's like you're in rooms where you just have to communicate differently with people, and just putting on that persona to really climb the ranks, man. And it is like, man, it's not worth it because I didn't have the time freedom.
Yeah.
And when I did take vacations, I couldn't really enjoy the vacation because I was constantly like, didn't want to get backed up in work. So it was like, I came to the realization like the lifestyle that I desired was not going to be achieved through this vehicle and climbing this corporate America ladder. And it's like, man, I got to do something different. So that's what made it. I was forced to look into entrepreneurship because it was like, man, that's the vehicle that can afford me a time freedom lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what drove me to entrepreneurship.
Yeah. I love the fact that you pointed out lifestyle, because that's probably one of those things that you don't really think about, or at least maybe, led to think about while you're in college in terms of kind of preparing for your career. It's, obviously, getting your, professional image together, getting your resume, doing internships, trying to get yourself out there, network and everything. But the lifestyle piece, right? It's the, how do you want to live while you're kind of achieving your career? And, it's good that you identified that and you had the opportunity to kind of make that transition, before it did get too much, before like that burnout turned to something worse, or if you got to a point where you were, let's say making a certain amount of money and it would be a little bit harder to transition into something, that's a little bit, that will probably take a little bit more time to kind of match up. So what was like that first, business venture? Like, what was that first one that kind of triggered everything, and then it started the momentum to where you're at now?
Absolutely. The first like business venture that I actually got exposed to was network marketing. Like network marketing, multi-level marketing. Essentially, you're partnering with a company. You're doing direct sales and selling that company, and you're able to get a higher percentage of the profit by selling that product. And it was a service-based e-commerce business, so it was essentially selling essential services. But the thing about what I loved about just getting involved in it and getting immersed into that, it was kind of like entrepreneurship 101, man, because it was like I didn't have to take on the burden of like investing a ton of money to get started. Like the barrier of entry was very low, but the upside potential was limitless depending on how hard I wanted to work. And then I didn't have to take on the responsibilities of what traditional business owners had to do, and like investing into a brick and mortar building, or investing into like an infrastructure for a website, or investing into employees and paying employees and stuff like that. It was honestly a perfect like small barrier of entry, and it exposed me to the fundamentals of entrepreneurship, of how to engage with customers, how to talk with customers, how to do marketing, and self-development. That was the biggest thing. It's like outside of like, so when I speak to people about college, it's like college is great. College is fantastic. I had an amazing time in college, and I learned a lot, and it helped actually get me into a career and get me around the certain individuals and get me to California to be where I'm at today. But one thing that college taught me personally, especially being an engineering major, is learning how you learn, because in engineering, you had to learn a lot of complex information in a short period of time. So you really had to learn yourself and like, how do I process information quickly? And that was a very like valuable skill for me to do. So when I got into entrepreneurship, like you had to be committed to like self-development and just learning. And it forced me to like develop myself and change my thinking, right? So it's like to that point of 25 years of living, 26 years of living, I've been taught to go and get a job and perform at a job. So I had to completely rewire how I think and think as an entrepreneur. And it was a great platform for me to learn that without wasting a ton of money. You know what I'm saying? Like in the barrier of entry. So that was the first venture that really exposed me to the entrepreneurial mindset, and it surrounded me by other business owners. So I was exposed to, especially being out here into the Bay Area, it's startups. You got startups from everywhere, man. You go out to networking events, you go to happy hours and socials. You're meeting a ton of fascinating people that's working on some crazy projects out here, moving from all over the world, dropping like on their last savings just to come start up that company.
Yeah.
So it gave me the motivation and the confidence too, to be able to step on a leap of faith to like build something for my own self in that network marketing endeavor, bro.
Yeah, it's definitely dope to see people who are kind of doing the same thing or taking that leap, like you said. Especially if you haven't even touched any type of venture like this before. It's good to see people kind of doing that same thing and probably having those same struggles that you have. And then, especially if you're, let's say that you're not competition with those individuals, it makes it easier to kind of share that information and make more connections and network and things like that. And I like the fact that you pointed out that that first venture was something that you did not have to put too much into to be able to get started, because that could be a fear of some, beginning entrepreneurs or students or whoever the case is, where like, I have to have a ton of money to be able to start this venture, and everybody's not in that position. So it's good that you found that and highlighted that and was able to still get that exposure to the, different business leaders and all those people to kind of get the ball rolling. And so, this may be one of the businesses that you're still kind of doing, but what other businesses do you have? Like, what's your lineup? And with being a serial entrepreneur, how do you manage everything, with the schedules that you have, while still kind of trying to keep that that time balance together?
Absolutely. That's actually a great question. Time balance is crucial, right? Because as you start making money, whether it be in corporate America or in business, it's like you realize, like, man, it's like, dude, you can always make money, but you can't never get back your time. And it's like that's the only thing that you can't get back. So you got to really value your time. Like, you really got to be valuable with your time. And in corporate America, like, having a work-life balance, like from a time standpoint, I feel like was actually easier than as an entrepreneur. And I can go into depth about that. Because in corporate America, it's like, I may not have the ultimate time freedom that I wanted, but I can have a work-life balance, per se. It's like just the lifestyle time freedom that I was looking for. It's like, I want to be able to take 6 months off, right? And that wasn't feasible in corporate America. But because you got teams, you can take off the work. If you're a people manager, you got resources under you to help offset that work. If you're an individual contributor at work, like, you can front load your week, so you can front load your quarter, so you can have like time at the end of the week or time at the end of the quarter. But as an entrepreneur, especially if you want to build something significant as an entrepreneur, like, you have to like sacrifice time initially, right? Like, you have to sacrifice that initial grunt work to build it up, to build that foundation, in order for you to sustain it, to be able to step back and reap the benefits of it. And you have to do that in seasons. Like, you can't do that in a week or in a day, right? It's like, hey, maybe I need to go in a 90-day or a 6 month where it's just nonstop laser focus, and then I can scale back. Let me call my mom, let me call my significant other, let them know, like, hey, I'm gonna commit to this short period of time. It's just zero focus. And I apologize for not being able to spend a little bit more time with you, but let me get this off and running, and then I can balance it that way. So that's how I kind of do it. It's like, I got seasons where I'm just like head down, get the work done, and then there's seasons where it's like, hey, I'm complete. I cut my phone off. It's like I'm literally zoned out of work, right? But to answer your first question, different things that I got going. So my network marketing business. We sell essential services, from gas, electricity, cell phone service, home security, internet, TV, just essential home services. We actually grew that into 4 different countries. So in the United States, Mexico, Colombia, and United States, Mexico, Colombia, and Canada. And I have about a little over 200 or so individuals within my organization that I'm helping mentor and helping build that business. So that's kind of like on autopilot. And then the second, I'm focused on three main businesses. The second business that we just launched, that we actually launched last year in COVID. Super excited about me and two other my fraternity brothers. It's called Imperium Care. And essentially what we did was we identified like two of my fraternity brothers, they were involved in the military. And they experienced like homelessness and coming out to the Bay Area. They experienced like post-traumatic PTSD and just dealing with different mental health challenges. I had experience, a little bit experience in real estate. And we decided to come together to provide housing for mentally ill, mentally challenged individuals, retired veterans, transitioning adults that may have just got out of jail or dealing with transitioning from like a foster home situation in adult transitioning, and elderly individuals, and we provide them housing. We actually do that here in San Jose, California. We got two care homes where we provided 24-hour care, give them meals every day, and then we have personal development activities where we actually like teach them fundamentals like cleaning up chores. We teach them like how to cook, arts and crafts type of activities, just different things to like help them out mentally. And then we have like partnerships with psychiatrists and nurses that come and help treat them as well. So that's one I'm very passionate about. Our motto is housing with a purpose. So we are able to house these individuals with a purpose behind it, mission-driven purpose behind it. So I'm super passionate about that one. And the last one, the third business, is in real estate. So I've been invested into real estate. And my partner, Trey Jenkins.
Yeah.
So me and him, we've invested into properties in Atlanta, Georgia, a multi-unit in Atlanta, Georgia. And I actually met Trey out here in the San Francisco Bay Area. He actually worked with Golden State Warriors. And I used to do a fundraiser with my fraternity with the Golden State Warriors. So we used to fundraise tickets, and we used to, the money that we raised from the fundraiser, we used to give it to scholarships to our Sigma Beta clubs and individuals that were in college that was transitioning to college. And me and him built a solid relationship. And with him, we actually partnered with two other individuals that were very well diverse in real estate. And we decided, instead of just putting our money together to do bigger real estate deals, how about we be able to create an opportunity for minorities that are traditionally not exposed to real estate deals or don't know how to invest into real estate deals, or just don't have the access or the network to invest into real estate deals. Let's execute real estate deals on behalf of them. They invest their money, and then they're able to passively invest into real estate deal while we execute it. So we created this company called BEquity. And we just put a B in front of equity, called it Black Equity.
Yeah.
And essentially, man, we've actually been launching that here this year. And super excited about that, to be able to just allow minorities that's in our community to be able to invest into real estate regardless of their net worth, and they can passively invest. So those are the main three businesses that I'm overseeing right now.
There you go. I mean, you talk about impact. you got a lot of dope things going on. And we had Trey on the show, and he talked about BEquity Capital a little bit, and I thought that was really cool to for kind of the same reason why we bring everybody on to get that exposure, because it's not readily available for our communities, or at least as much as we want it to. So you're doing that with the real estate. The housing project, that's really, really dope, especially for all the individuals that you're serving. For me personally, I think the homeless veterans, like that whole idea is kind of mind-boggling to me. You serve the country and you don't have those resources, or at least you think you should have those resources kind of available once you either become a civilian, or if you're kind of coming back from whatever service that was. So that's really cool that you're doing that. And then the essential services. I mean, what else can you ask for when it comes to that? Things that we just normally use on a regular basis, and being able to supply those. So, I mean, you're definitely pushing, that purpose of having impact in those things that you do. And I'm sure you got some other things, but those three, I mean, I think that kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah, those are my main three bread and butters right there, man. And just to piggyback on the veteran piece, man, it's crazy because like when you really think about it, like at 18, like a lot of people go to the military like fresh out of high school at 18, so they really don't know nothing like about the world or just life on life and being able to be self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. So your only training is the military, and in the military they teaching you how to defend the country, right? So it's like you learning whatever, obviously going to like whatever job you choose, right? But ultimately the mindset is like, hey, we want to create protection for our country. And then if you do tours overseas and you go to Iraq and you're in combat in a battle, like that messes you up mentally because you're seeing some things that like you don't normally see as a regular individual. Like, because my business partner, he actually did about 6 tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. And the stories he be telling me is crazy.
Yeah.
And they come back mentally like it's just transitioning to the regular society, man. It's very awkward. It's very challenging for them. They may not know how to express themselves. They don't have the right people skills, and it's hard for them to get a job. Then they so used to like everything just being done for them, so it's kind of overwhelming to take care of yourself, and that may lead to drugs. That may lead to depression. Like it can lead to all these different things, which cause them to be homeless. And it's like, man, why are you homeless, right?
Yeah.
And it's like it's crazy when you think about it, man. And it's like, man, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to solve that. When you, it's like I never had an intention of getting into that space. Like it was an approach to me, but I'm always in the mindset like, how can we give an impact? And when I started learning about like some of the root causes of why people are homeless, and you start peeling back the layers, it's like, oh, drug abuse. Well, why are they strung out on drugs? It's like it could be a plethora of things. It's like, hey, they did some tours in Afghanistan, they come back, couldn't get a job, they get depressed, and then they get depressed, and then they turn to drugs. I'm out here in the Bay Area. You got a lot of people that's a part of the LGBT community. Mm-hmm. So it's a ton of people that like growing up, they expose that to their family. Their family like, nah, get out of my house. We ain't dealing with that crowd. That leads to depression. That leads to drugs. And then you just got so many other factors that leads to depression and drugs, man. And it's like, it's a huge problem out here in the Bay Area, man. When I first moved to the Bay Area, I never seen this many homeless people in my life. Like it's crazy, bro. Yeah. Like, and it's like, it was like people are normal. It was like, man, I never seen this before, man. It's crazy. And it's like, dude, there gotta be a solution for this, man. And we've been stepping in and doing what we can. We've been making a ton of just networking opportunities with a lot of nonprofits and a lot of churches that's giving us free food. They give us meals. They give us supplies for our clients. They give us so many different things to help support that initiative, man. So I'm super excited about Imperium Care, man.
Definitely. Yeah. We definitely want to see that develop. So, kudos to you all and, putting all those things together and being able to have the impact on those communities. So, last, I'm actually kind of combine a couple of questions. Now, if there's like a student, or someone who kind of wants to get into the space, or maybe they just kind of struck with an idea in terms of a business or something that they want to pursue that's, in that entrepreneurship lane, what, advice would you give to them to kind of take those first steps to get into a good space with that? Even kind of looking at yourself, if you were to kind of look back and give yourself some type of advice, whether it's about entrepreneurship or not, what would that be?
Absolutely. Guess if I was to look back and give myself advice, and I can answer the first question.
Mhm.
The first thing is like thinking about from an entrepreneur standpoint, right? It's key skills that I would definitely commit to learning if that I was a child, man. The first one is sales. I would definitely be committed to learning about sales and being able to learning how to effectively how to communicate, right, across all levels, and across all different personality types, because you can have uh, people from the same four black guys or four white guys or four Indian women, but they all have different personality types, and the way that you communicate to them could be very different, right?
Right.
So learning how to effectively communicate and sell yourself, because you're ultimately selling yourself all the time when you're trying to get a job, but be able to just effectively sell, I think, is one key skill. I would definitely learn technology, learn about technology, and then finances, man. Like it's so many things like one on one, like I'm learning right now at age 32 that like I should have been learned about, like taxes, right? Credit, learning about like just having the right credit so you can leverage your credit to really take advantage of investing into your businesses, right? Or just purchasing a home and different things of that sort. So really learning about the like finances one on one and how money works. Those are some key skills. And then from a mindset standpoint, I would say I would get belief fast, right? So like, what does that mean? Like if you have an idea or you have a concept or something that you want to do, like get belief fast by testing out that theory fast. Like like literally dive into the research to like figure out if this gonna work. So that way, if you have the belief that it is gonna work, you can actually put your 100% effort into it. But if you on the fence and it's like, man, I don't know if I think it's work, I think it's gonna work, you're not gonna give 110% effort.
Yeah.
So the faster that you get belief into whatever it is that you're trying to pursue, the faster that you're gonna actually go 110%, and then it helps you overcome any obstacles that face, because you're gonna come across so many different obstacles in building a business or anything in life, right? Whatever that case may be, whether it's building a business or pursuing a certain career, it's like you have to believe it yourself first, because you're gonna have obstacles such as like barriers to overcome, people that you truly value their opinion telling you like, nah, you should major into that, or nah, you shouldn't pursue that business. And in order for you to overcome that, you got to get your belief level like skyrocket up, man. And the way you do that is just like research, getting a mentor, like modeling somebody that's already doing what you're doing, like listening, interviewing them, asking them what different things that they have overcome, what were some of the challenges that they had to face, and learn from their mistakes. That way, that helps build your belief. I think that's the biggest mindset right there, because you got to understand, like as an entrepreneur and just in life, man, like you're going to experience an emotional roller coaster. So by you being emotionally intelligent about yourself, you can stay leveled and grounded amongst anything that happens, and you're not making emotional or impulsive decisions that can impact you financially, or just like long term of that one impact. I think those are some very key things that I would tell myself, somebody early on, from a skill standpoint and then a mindset standpoint. And then always like don't think of everything as competition. Like there's some things that I'm helping um, influence with some of my business partners, man. It's like let's not view everybody as competition. Let's collaborate. Let's figure out a way we can collaborate with them, and it can be a win-win situation. And we can leverage each other and enable each other. It's like do not get caught up in competition, and like collaboration, I think, is the biggest thing, and like networking. Because honestly, man, one of the most valuable things that out here living in the San Francisco Bay Area is network, and meeting the type of people that I have access to. Like I met Trey, very, very, very bright individual. And then through that relationship, met so many different people. Me being involved with a fraternity, just meeting my fraternity brothers and being intentional about them and meeting and networking with them here in the Bay Area, been very, very detrimental to my career and my success out here, man. So those are, I say, the main key things. for sure.
Yeah, a lot of great gems there. So thanks for providing that. No, now before we do wrap up, I got a few fun questions for you. Again, thank you for providing that perspective and kind of your experience, because it sounds like you do a lot of great things and you've learned a lot of good things just even from childhood. I'm sure that somebody listening can really pick up from any part of that journey. So, but to kind of get into these questions, is actually going to be cool for this first one with you being in the Bay Area, being surrounded by tech and everything. For you, what is it? Apple or Spotify? What do you prefer?
Man, I'm a title, bro. I'm title, bro.
just push those two to the side. We go Untitled.
But if title's not an option, I would roll with Apple, man. I'm diehard Apple fan. I love everything about Apple, bro.
There you go. All right. So now, you're at the cookout. Let's take COVID out of this, but you're at the cookout. What are you most likely doing? Are you like cooking? Are you hanging with the kids? Part of Phi Beta Sigma. Are you strolling? Like, what are you doing out there?
So if I'm at the cookout, I'm definitely eating, man. I need to slim down for sure. I'm probably helping cooking. If it's a family cookout, we playing spades, so like we talking smack, like I'm trying to be competitive, right?
Yeah.
If it's like a assault, like with my friends cookout, same thing, man. We just talking smack, drinking, talking smack, having fun, bro.
There you go. All right, now for name one underrated show and one overrated show, in your opinion.
Underrated show. Underrated show. I don't know about an underrated show. Overrated show. I feel like what's that show called? I can't remember the name of that show. WandaVision.
You're gonna make a lot of people mad with that.
No. So that one is underrated. Like, well, I don't know if a lot of people know about it, but the WandaVision is dope. That's underrated. It was good. I like how they went to like all the different sitcoms from all the different years. It gave me like so many flashbacks. But overrated though. Let me see. What's overrated? Orange is New Black. I hate Orange is New Black.
Yeah, that had his run, and I mean, I'm not sure what the scope of the audience, when they get to the later seasons, but it had its good run. But you're like, nah, not for me.
Yeah, not for me, bro.
All good. All right, so one thing that we always joke about, we joke about the black card, this imaginary pass that allows us to, determine our blackness, right? But if it was actually a real thing, what do you think would be like one requirement to have this black card? What type of experience and knowledge, what would be in that?
Let me see. A requirement. I'm from St. Louis. It ain't necessarily a St. Louis thing. I think one requirement is that you got to know how to make ramen noodles. Like, or beef that ramen noodles. I love ramen noodles. Now I pay like, it's crazy how I used to grow up eating ramen noodles, and now in the Bay Area it's like $30 a bowl out here. If you go to like a ramen spot. Real talk. But,
yeah, let me go home and make this real quick.
Real talk. I would say that, bro. Trying to think of another one though, but I'm thinking that's the first one that came to my mind.
There you go. All right, and then lastly, it could be the top of all time. It could be your favorite ones right now, but top 3 memes. What you got?
For sure, the crying Jordan. That's hilarious. Memes. Man, I'm drawing a blank, man. Top
you
3.
Good?
Let me see, man. Top 3 memes. Ooh, I don't know, man. Every time I'm on social media, man, I'm paying for ads. Like, hey, man.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank right now, bro.
You're good. You're good. Hey, classic, Jordan crying, that's going to stand the test of time, right?
Facts.
There you go. All right. Well, Anwar, that's all I got for you, man. I truly, truly appreciate your time, your knowledge, everything that you brought here. Is there anything that you want to share with our audience? Last words, anything that you want to promote? I'm going to give you the floor for that.
Absolutely. Well, first off, man, I just want to say, man, it's a blessing for what you're doing, man. I really, really like this. I get the newsletters and stuff, man. And I thought this was pretty dope. So, for any high school student or just a younger person that's watching this or just following your platform, I would actually not only take notes, but just start applying little things. If it's just one thing that you heard, it's like, try it out. Like, don't just hear the information, take notes, and not like apply it and take action. Because knowledge is they say knowledge is power, but if you don't apply, if knowledge on ice is way worse than ignorance on fire, man. So I'd rather be ignorant and just on fire, just trying, versus just having so much information and not doing nothing with it. So if anything, man, anything resonated with you, anything you heard, not only from my interview, anybody interview, man, just try it out. Like, you young, you can make mistakes right now. It won't be detrimental to your life, right? You don't have any responsibilities. I think that's the biggest thing. So appreciate you for having me on the platform. If you're interested in learning more about the different things that I got going, ImperiumCare.com is the care home business that we have. And then the real estate business is BEquityVentures.com. You can learn more about that there.
Perfect. Yeah, we're going to put all that information in the description. So again, Anwar, thank you for your time. Thanks to everybody who was listening, watching, however you consume this podcast. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're also on social media. That's InQuire Hire on Facebook's, Twitter, and Instagram. And then we've got InQuireHire.com. So definitely check out all the cool stuff that we got in terms of student resources, things to help you succeed. So until next time, peace.
Deuces.